Hello, hello. Welcome once again to Exiles TV.
How are you?
I'm great. I've lost track of the days. Is this the 11th? 10th. 10th.
You're a day ahead.
10th.
Hey,
Yes.
job opportunity.
Okay.
Let me interview you first.
Okay.
Have you ever grabbed a female coworker's bottom?
Not without her asking me to.
Have you ever grabbed a female coworker's top?
Not without her asking me to.
Have you ever kissed a female coworker?
Not without her asking me to.
Have you ever sent suggestive messages to a female coworker?
Never.
Then you, sir, can be governor of New York. There is a job opening as of noon today.
I am shocked, actually. I heard the news driving here just now this morning. It was breaking news on Fox News Radio.
For those of you who don't know this, Governor Andrew Cuomo has resigned. It will be effective in 14 days.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah. But this guy, what are you going to do with this guy?
Well, I'm amazed because just last week he responded to the Attorney General's press conference saying, I didn't do it, I'm innocent, I'm not going anywhere, you're not forcing me out, I didn't do a damn thing. Adamant. Adamant. And what a difference 1 week makes. Now, after losing his top aide, who we know why she resigned.
Well, and because she was kind of his gatekeeper.
Yeah, and she was one of his staunchest defenders, but I think that she knew that he was guilty all along.
Well, I mean, when he's walking through the office going, did her, tried to do her, did her, eventually it's going to catch up with you.
Look, a lot of us had the feeling that Cuomo was a deplorable individual from the way he handled COVID and the fact that he sent COVID patients into nursing homes and then multiple people in the nursing homes in New York State got sick with COVID
that's
and
coming up
died.
Next. That investigation is ongoing.
I hope he is criminally prosecuted for that.
Well, he may be criminally prosecuted for this.
But I was, nevertheless, because he was so adamant that he hadn't done nothing wrong and he wasn't going to resign, I think what he did was he did a whip count on an impeachment vote.
Sure he did.
And found out that he would be easily impeached in the New York State legislature.
Well, there's a few things that happened. Is a lot of his political allies said to him, they got the goods on you. You are going to need time to prepare a defense. Sure, everybody that's accused, unless you're, who was that weenie from South Carolina, Mark Sanford?
Yeah.
Everybody who was accused, except, if you're a real weenie like Mark Sanford, I did it, I'm sorry. Everybody, when they're first accused, says not guilty. Because you got nowhere to go if you say you're guilty.
Is that the guy who said he went on a prolonged hiking trip and it turned out he was in
Trail?
It turned out he was in South America with his girlfriend.
With a woman named Appalachian Trail. Yeah, yeah. She was Greek.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless you are a complete moron, of course you sit there while you're still the governor and say, I deny this, I have no recollection of taking that picture, I think they've got the facts wrong. But when they come in and tell you, we got witnesses under oath, that's when you say, well, I'm a distraction, I think I'll resign.
When the Attorney General, who is a member of your own party and formerly a staunch supporter, is calling a press conference to say he did it.
She found
at least 11 cases he did it.
Well, not only that, but she found 74 incidents in total that she says they are going to continue to investigate.
I listened to a woman on the news last night that seemed she was one of the victims who came forward and was willing to talk, and she seemed very credible to me.
Let me tell you, I don't live in New York, so I don't have to worry.
You should thank God for that. New York's a hellhole, the whole state.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't live there, so I don't care about that. But what I do care about, and we've talked about this in general terms many, many times in the past, is the number of female employees that work for highly placed people in government all over this country. We've had it happen here in Louisiana many times. That don't get any satisfaction for their complaints, that are often retaliated against. And these guys go forth after that with impunity in most cases. And I think that this is going to be a real turning point.
I hope so. Listen, Harvey Weinstein went to prison. Now, I think in at least one of the cases of complaints against him, it was attempted rape. Mm-hmm. But still, most of the cases were just severe sexual harassment.
Well, and the trial is about to start for actual rape against Harvey Weinstein in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. They've already had the pretrial motions and pretrial hearings, which he was taken out of jail to go to attend.
But I thought that Cuomo was going to hold on and be forced out. I did not expect him to resign.
He is a lech, but he's not stupid. He knows how to count. I got 11 people that there are records of them being in my presence that give times and dates and what I did, and I've got 41 members of the General Assembly that say, you gotta go. I need to get out in front of this because...
Plus members of his party on a national scale,
Oh, yeah.
up to and including the President of the United States saying, you gotta go.
So, I mean, this is not some witch hunt. And it doesn't matter to me what his political party is when they do an investigation this thorough.
I don't.
When you've got witnesses that are willing to be sworn and deposed, then you get what you get. And I'm thinking, hopefully, this is going to be a lesson to everyone that thinks, well, I'm the so-and-so. I can go ahead and do a little reach around on this little girl who works for me.
You do not have the luxury of treating your employees and your subordinates any way you choose.
You also
treat them with the same respect you would give your daughters.
Yeah, unless you're a child molester, in which case treat them with the same respect that you would like to have.
Bill, so much boils down to golden rule. So much in our world boils down to the golden rule, that we don't treat people the way we'd want them to treat us.
Well, and there's been a perversion of the golden rule, and I've used this myself for the emphasis. He who makes the gold gets to make the rules. And
that's the Cuomo rule right
Executive Assistant number 1, who came forward, who signed her deposition, who said, you can take off Executive Assistant number 1, it's me, who did television interviews. And one of the things she said, why she didn't come out after the first incident, she said, because I was worried that my career would be over if I made a complaint against the governor. Then when it happened the second time, she said, well, hell, this career isn't worth it for me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there are lots of professional women in this city who will tell you that years ago they have been harassed or groped or inappropriately advanced upon by people who were their superiors, and I'm talking in every industry.
State agency heads, governors.
Oh, banks, big engineering firms.
Oh, goodness. I can think of one.
Media.
I can think of one local bank who their top dog here in Louisiana had to go because they found out that he had an illicit relationship going on with an underling. But I don't think I should name the bank or the person, but this, it never came to any legal action, but they certainly told him, you're out, you're gone, sorry.
But this is a good day for women everywhere. Now we'll see what happens tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that and the day after that.
Now let's just see if we can get his brother out at CNN. Let's take a break. We got to take care of that.
His brother's getting himself out.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch him anymore. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true.
Well, I mean, CNN's got some of the worst ratings, and it hasn't killed anybody. Ratings haven't killed anybody yet over there. Brian Stelter's still there, and his ratings are in the toilet.
That's a whole nother story.
Quick pause for commercials. We'll be right back with more on Exiles TV.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Bill Profita.
I'm Kevin Gallagher.
Kevin operating without an inner tube today, so if he starts to deflate, don't worry. I know how to handle it.
That's what my wife made that joke a couple of weeks ago. Well,
Really?
if you ever start to deflate, I know I can just grab that thing and into it.
She beat me to it?
For those of you, that have been following my travails with cancer, which I'm 99% sure I beat this thing, but for a while I had a feeding tube in my abdomen because I couldn't swallow food. And yesterday, pulled it out.
And he's going to miss it because it was, technology is wonderful.
This
thing was tied to Uber Eats. He could push 3 buttons and Uber Eats would deliver to his feeding tube.
No. I had a liquid product called Jevity, as in longevity. Jevity with a J.
Oh, no.
And I would pour a carton of Jevity down that tube 4 times a day. That's what I would do.
Wow.
I had like a large syringe that I took the plunger out of the syringe fit in the end of the tube, and I'd sit there and hold the syringe in my left hand and pour goo down the tube with the right hand.
I have so many comic questions that I could ask.
I'm certain you do. But
out of respect for you, having gone through this,
let's just say
I'll wait a year.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, okay? So we're
anyway.
good. Are you nervous at all about this this potential cyclone system out in the tropics that is on an arc that will probably take it into the Gulf of Mexico?
I am. You know why? It's the first one to enter the Gulf in what is prime time for Gulf Coast hurricane season.
From August on through November is when we get the worst of our hurricanes.
And the weather guessers, by the way, 5 days ago, they were watching 3 systems. This is the one they said had the best probability of turning into something, and its name is going to be Fred.
Fred. Well, that is presuming it gets a name. Right now it's called Potential Tropical Cyclone 6. So it's not even a tropical storm yet. And as I understand it, it is at this time beginning to pass through an area of high wind shear in the Caribbean that could weaken it considerably.
Yeah.
Now the question is, after it gets clear of, say, Hispaniola, the island of Hispaniola, will it strengthen as it enters the Gulf of Mexico?
Well, it has to stop and hit Haiti, because everything does.
Yeah, because it's, come on, it's Haiti.
It's Haiti. It's got to impact Haiti.
I got to tell you, I really feel bad for the people of Haiti because we're making bad jokes, but they get hit by almost everything that comes along that path.
You can have a typhoon off the Philippines, and somehow it will hook it through Cape Horn and come back and hit Haiti before it does.
Much the same for the eastern half of Hispaniola, which is San Domingo, right?
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And eastern parts of Cuba. just about all these hurricanes that come in on that headed for the Gulf track impact those three land masses and do terrible, terrible damage.
Well, here's what's bothering me, and all of us are looking at what they call the cone of uncertainty. Now, they've got this cone drawn in all the way to next Sunday. And the center of the cone has it missing every landmass after Hispaniola, which means if this is reasonably accurate, the mountains in Cuba are not going to slow it down.
Nope. Not the center of the storm anyway.
Yeah, it's not going to go to the Miami side of the Florida Peninsula, which means once it gets into the Gulf, it ought to be full of hurricane jet fuel.
I noticed the center of this cone, and again, this is a long time out, but the center of this cone, Key West.
Mm-hmm.
And Key West is another area that a strong tropical storm can do horrible, horrible damage in Key West.
Well, the thing is, Key West does not have enough elevated landmass to slow it down at all.
Yep. But as you said, through next Sunday, or is this coming Sunday, 7 a.m.?
Yeah, this is
the center of the cone is somewhere in the Gulf with. This cone could take it into Louisiana, it could take it into the Florida Panhandle, it could take it into Alabama.
Well, and what they're not saying yet, not because they're trying to keep anything from us, is because they really don't know if that low pressure that's right now over the Carolinas dumping a lot of rain is going to sag and push this thing to the west.
Mm-hmm.
That one was supposed to be a movable, good morning, good afternoon. That one was supposed to be a movable front, and it's sitting still like it's trying to hatch something. So we shall see.
So I tend not to get real nervous about these things until they're in the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
And the forecast track, the cone of probability, makes it look like a Louisiana impact.
I don't get worried until I see Paul Goodloe, Jen Carfagno, or what's his name? The original
Jim Cantor.
I don't get worried until I see them walking on the street somewhere close. That's when I get real worried.
But I am planning on probably late this week making sure that the generator works properly.
Mm-hmm.
And have you got a whole house generator?
No. I've got a portable just like you do.
Well, mine's tiny. It's just a little Honda. It's just enough to run the fridge and a window unit and maybe a lamp.
Mine is a bit bigger. I got it during Gustav, and it has not run since the 7 days after Gustav. Now, I dumped the fuel and I cleaned out the filters and all that. But
I'd do a test run if I were you and be prepared to call somebody to tinker with it and get it cranked.
I got somebody that'll come over and say, here, hold my beer.
There
I'll
you
fix
go.
it. Hold my beer. I'm good at fixing things.
All right, what's coming up next, Bill?
Mike Manning with the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank joins us next on Exiles TV. Stick around.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
This is State Treasurer John Schroeder urging you to check your mailbox. We just mailed out $4.5 million of unclaimed property checks to people across Louisiana. Unclaimed property is lost money turned over to the Department of Treasury so we can return it to you. The process is so easy, you can claim it right from your phone. Check for yourself, check for your family, and don't forget to check your businesses. This is your money. Claim it. Check your mailbox. And cash your check. It's that easy.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
TV. Glad to have you along with us. Kevin Gallagher, Bill Profita, our guest today. Mike Manning, who is the president and CEO of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. It is truly one of the largest nonprofits in our area, and they take care of food needs of all kinds. For, was it a 12 parish area?
11.
11. I keep trying to give you an extra parish.
Well, you used to take one away, so it's only fair you give me one.
Yeah, you used to say 10 all the time.
Law of averages then,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You all have done yeoman's work in point of fact with a new facility, with floods that flooded the new facility, with COVID, and now we've got a surge. What's the situation now for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank today?
Well, we're still in disaster mode, doing the same things we've been doing since COVID started. We have seen some of the numbers tick down, but now we're seeing them go back up with this latest onslaught. And it's really been a challenge. It's really been difficult to figure it out and to plan. We've been fortunate enough to have a detachment of National Guard with us to help us, to be a force multiplier for us. But we know they're scheduled to go away September 3rd. So if this continues, we have to figure out what we're going to do beyond September 3rd, which will probably mean some significantly higher costs for us to continue to do these distributions.
So you need a lot of things, not only food, but you need human resources.
Oh, yeah.
You need volunteers.
Definitely. We rely on three things: donations of food, donations of money, and donations of people's time. And those are the three things that, it's like the three legs of a stool. Take one of those legs away and we're in trouble.
When the shutdown, when the lockdown occurred in 2020, and to a large extent, a lot of people still haven't gone back to work, how much of an increase was there in the demand for your help?
We were looking at it for a period of time. It was roughly I'd say 75 to 100% increase. It was almost double. That was the initial, and it calmed down after that, and it's been running probably, we're running about 45-50% higher than the past. It slowed with the unemployment benefits that were additional unemployment benefits, but we're starting to see it pick back up now.
One of the things that is a nationwide problem is, we're talking about we have a shortage of lumber. Well, there's plenty of trees that are being cut, but we have a shortage of trucking due to COVID. And I know a lot of your bulk goods come into you by truck.
Yeah.
Has that slowed down for you all at all?
It's gotten a lot more expensive. It's much more expensive to get trucking for product now. And we've been very fortunate in that we've been able to arrange transportation, but ours is kind of a targeted. We have a lot of refrigerated truck requirements and those things, so it's a specific niche as opposed to just general trucking, hauling whatever.
What about availability of food? One of the last times that you might have been on during my long period of absence, but I remember one of the last times we spoke to you, you said the food wasn't as available for you to get through your normal sources.
Well, that's recovering. It's still that adjustment now. Now it went to everybody was buying at the grocery, and then it went back. People starting to go to restaurants. Now it's coming back to everybody going to the grocery with this new variant. So it's food we've been able to get some. The federal government did some things to help us, but that's all gone away now, so we're having to do it on our own now. We have to find the money to buy food, and try to get as many donations of food as we can.
When we talk about the ins and outs, and I'm not trying to be funny of your business, but you've got to take donations in. Sometimes they're individuals that donate at the grocery store. Sometimes, as you say, it's trucks coming in, and then you have your folks, your volunteers, and your force multipliers that are sorting, but it's got to be delivered, and that's a person-to-person transaction. How far do you have to go to ensure that all of these transactions are as safe as they can possibly be?
We've been masked since day one, so it's really totally masked. Everybody's masked, and we've been off and on masked in the facility. When things started calming down, we started thinking about relaxing it. We did relax it a little bit, but for our volunteers and everything, we need to make sure. We did changes in the air system to have a treatment system that would eliminate the virus in the air, those things.
All of this is expensive stuff that could be used on food.
Yeah, exactly. But it was things we had to do to be able to protect our staff, protect our volunteers, and continue to be able to do the work. So we would have people who could do the sorting, the packing, the distribution, make that difference. If we didn't take care of our people, how could I expect them to show up?
Good question. So, as far as your distribution, how much of it is people coming in getting their food supplies, and how much of it is you delivering to the various parishes?
Well, we've had our agencies, several of them closed. We've gotten some of them reopened. We're worried about with the variant if they're going to shut down again. But we just roll our trucks out and go out and do distributions. We do them in parking lots at schools and churches, and any place that has an opportunity, a pavilion somewhere, we'll go do it there. We're doing it at Lamar Dixon later this week. So it's Saturdays are our big distributions. We do smaller distributions.
What's your system for getting the word out so people know where to go?
We communicate through the local parish government and the local town government. We also reach out to the churches in that area so that people know we're going to be there. And we try to get some of them set to where we're on a regular schedule.
Most of these folks that need your assistance are well known or identifiable through church, councils on aging, things like that.
Yeah, the whole way we operate is through our agencies who are on the ground in the neighborhoods where we're trying to serve people. And they know who's in need and who's not. And what we've done is we've just expanded that. We even have done drop and goes where we just roll up with our trucks, offload, and that church takes care of the distribution for us. And it's different than an agency because they're not set up with a pantry and all that. They're just in time delivery to them. They distribute, and it's gone, and we're gone.
If one could wave a magic wand and give you the human resources you need, how many people, either volunteers or compensated, how many people do you need right now?
Well, if you tell me if I'm going to lose my guard detachment on September 3rd, and I'll have different answers for you. If we lose that,
when will you know?
Hopefully the end of the week.
Yeah, I'd hate to have that hanging over me.
Well, we're planning as though they're going away because that's what we were told. And with the ramp up of COVID testing and COVID shots, we can see where that's where they're probably going to go. But it's really just a situation of, we just need to know what we're going to do, and we'll do it.
Well, and I think one of the unique challenges, and certainly not just for you, but I think you're the largest example of this, there used to be a lot of volunteer community service hours for people like you. You would have Catholic High or St. Michael's or Baton Rouge High have some of their kids that needed community service hours, and you would get these high school students that you would have, say, for 20 hours a month. But now I think with COVID restrictions, you probably can't have that anymore.
No, we were totally spaced, masked, all the requirements, so that we could do that. So we had significant numbers of volunteers throughout the summer. We have a dedicated core group of volunteers, and most of them are seniors who come every Wednesday, and some of them come almost every day. And it's really rewarding to see those people. They're taking a risk by coming out, but they want to do it, and they know how many people are in need and want to help.
Well, God bless them.
We've got a break coming in just about 3 or 4 minutes, and after that, I want to talk about nonprofit agencies in general, because, just in the last 5 or 6 days, at least 5 or 6 have canceled their major fundraising event again. And that's got to be painful. But for right now, let me ask you, if someone wants to volunteer, can you screen them and get them in right now if somebody wants to volunteer?
Oh, yeah.
All right, how do they do that?
Basically, they can go to the website, www.brfoodbank.org, and sign up. They have the calendar where they can see where the openings are and what they'd be doing. We're still running our bulk packaging equipment in the back, which a lot of volunteers really love, to take a palletized box of beans or something and put it in individual distribution bags and box it for us. So it's some great opportunities.
And some good technology you've got.
Yeah,
I remember when you got that. And if someone is watching and saying, you know what, I think I really do want to write them a check because it has gotten more expensive. What's it gotten, about 30-40% more expensive to buy food now?
It's probably 20-25 right now.
That's a hell of a hike.
But we fully expect it to be 30-40 before the end of the year.
So it is going to continue to get more expensive.
Yeah, with the additional impact of trucking and other things, it's going to be more expensive.
And I would assume it's kind of competitive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if somebody wants to write that check today or tomorrow, you can go to the same website, right?
Yep.
And there's a donate now button, I would guess?
Yeah, exactly there. You can put it on your
do
credit
it
card.
electronically, yeah.
Do your credit card and get your rewards points also.
And can you also, if somebody wants to give like $20 a month for the next year, set that up?
We can set them up for a monthly gift. That's not a problem.
Well, and that's a good thing to do, folks. You hardly miss it when it
budget
comes that way.
Something, you know?
And you give them a little bit of stability. You know, think about it. 300-400 people go down for that $20 a month. That's some pretty good stability for Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. So that is what we would like you to do as you hear about. Last time we talked, you said something that really struck me, and I think about it a lot, that because of COVID and unemployment, you are now serving people that used to be donors that are now receivers.
Yeah.
Is that still a reality?
Oh yeah. It's really a situation. You just look at all the casino workers who haven't returned to work. They were furloughed, then they were laid off, and they don't have a job anymore because of the limitations. In the future, hopefully those opportunities will open back up, but we're not there yet, especially with the variant.
See, that's what's called a stark reality.
Yeah.
That people who used to come and volunteer, who used to give you donations, are now relying on you for their food.
Yeah.
That is a stark reality. I think of that often, and I hope you all will too, if you're thinking about giving to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank.
We're going to take a brief pause, take care of a little business, and we'll return with more of Mike Manning and the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. You remember, we used to call them second harvesters back in the day. So stay with us, and we'll be right back with more of Exiles TV.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
This is State Treasurer John Schroeder urging you to check your mailbox. We just mailed out $4.5 million of unclaimed property checks to people across Louisiana. Unclaimed property is lost money turned over to the Department of Treasury so we can return it to you. The process is so easy, you can claim it right from your phone. Check for yourself, check for your family, and don't forget to check your businesses. This is your money. Claim it. check your mailbox. And cash your check. It's that easy.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Exiles TV. I'm Bill Perfides, Kevin Gallagher,
That's
Mike
the rumor.
Manning, President and CEO of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Mike, you've been running a large nonprofit for a very long time now. And I want you to kind of globally give us a picture of Baton Rouge, because I really, really, really got saddened when I saw that things like the Children's Advocacy Center canceling their big event, Alzheimer's Services canceling their big event, American Cancer Society postponing their big event, and there are probably 6 or 7 others. What is the picture like for these nonprofits that rely on personal contact and nice events to make their operating budget?
It's going to be challenging. It's really going to be tough. We've canceled all of our events. It's really been difficult to try to navigate this, and to I think the whole landscape for nonprofits in Baton Rouge is going to change. I think we're looking at some of these nonprofits are
permanently.
Yeah, I think it will. I think some will go away. I think some will shrink to levels that they never imagined they'd shrink to. There will be a few that are in specific arenas that will survive. Like, I think we'll do well.
Yeah.
Because we've been out there the whole time. But some, it's a question of they're going to have to really prove their relevance and justify, especially with inflation coming, how are they going to get the dollars to be able to operate?
But with so many of these not-for-profits, the key to their success is being able to, as Bill said, get out there in a nice setting.
Face to face with
face
donors.
to face, elbow to elbow with people with deep pockets that are disposed to give.
Exactly. And the other problem some of them are having is they can't do what they do. They can't provide their services. Because they're not in a situation where they can take a bunch of kids together and do something. So it's limiting, the services that are out there now also.
It's like a good friend of ours, Stephen Wagasback, who's the president and CEO of LABI. He is a very involved board member over at the Emerge Center, which does a hell of a good job with kids that have learning disabilities. Last year, they were forced to do their big event as a virtual, and it was successful. And everybody breathed a sigh of relief, and not specifically but for Emerge, but for others. Can you pull that off 2 years in a row and still get the same kind of income from it? I think that's a legitimate open question.
I think it's a question of who are your donors and how personal is that gift. Because if you have that personal relationship and they have a personal calling to your mission, they'll be there for you. The question is, with so many nonprofits in town, how many will survive? How many have that person, those people out there that are so dedicated to what that organization does that they'll continue to support it?
Yeah, because Baton Rouge, go back 2-3 years, there was some kind of a not-for-profit event every weekend.
Oh, sometimes 2 or 3. Yeah.
And you get the situation where everybody comes up with a new nonprofit. And that's been part of the problem, is we've had so many nonprofits that are doing the same thing.
Well, the pie will only slice so much, and then you're going to hit diminishing returns.
Exactly.
Well, and a lot of it, even for the big ones, is the personal contact and the flow that comes from that.
Yep.
When you go to the cancer ball, and 2 years ago when they had it live, it was the first time they raised $1 million. And you tell people, I was at this event that raised $1 million for cancer, and it was a great event, and I met new people, and it was wonderful. If you can't have that, you lose the best kind of public relations and image building you can ever get.
Yeah.
Because I can't say that about last year's. Because none of us got to go to it.
Yep. And when you look at things, though, cancer is one of those things that touches everybody.
Mhm.
So most people are more likely to be engaged with that. And not everybody needed to get in the food lines.
Yeah.
So it's harder for them. So it's got to be a passion for them. From our perspective, they have to be passionate
You have
about
to
our
have
mission.
people who care about
Exactly.
others.
Exactly.
Well, and you also have, again, some nonprofits that are still in their infancy, or they have a very small niche. And as you said, for them, there is a double challenge to prove their relevance.
Yeah.
You know, are you doing something or endeavoring to do something that Mike and his staff could be doing at Food Bank?
And they may be doing it less expensive than you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because they've already built up their reputation. They've also built up the connections that the economies of scale that they may have over a smaller.
Well, Mike, your comment a few minutes ago is sobering, because I hate to think that we are never going to return to a state of normality or normalcy, which is the correct word to use in this context. But you know, I like that we had a good social scene that was built up around giving.
Yeah. It was built on giving, every bit of it.
I think that will come back. It's just a question of how many nonprofits are going to be out there. Who's going to survive this, who's not? How are they going to be able to prove their relevancy and start being able to provide services again? You know, because that's a lot of what they're seeking the funding for, is the services they're providing. And if they can't provide that, you know, those are the lag issues that we're going to face until we get through this.
Kevin and I, for years, have emceed Family Services of Greater Baton Rouge.
Have they even had an
Renee
event in the
Taylor
last 2
does
years?
such a great job with that. She uses every dollar to the max. She's a lot like you.
Right, exactly.
Okay? She squeezes a nickel until Jefferson suffocates.
But last year they didn't have an
Last
event.
year she called and said, we're going to have to postpone it.
Yeah.
This year, I've not received a call, so I'm guessing they're going to have to postpone again. Now, this charity does big work, but it's very small in terms of the board, the supporters, the number of people.
Right.
How are they going to survive?
That's the question we're going to face going forward here. It's going to be a real challenge.
And there's so many more. If you, as the CEO of a large nonprofit, were giving advice to some of these smaller ones, what would you tell them in the circumstance that we have today?
I would try to say, find your partners. Start aligning, start working with others. You know, if you can, don't, you know, the last thing we need is new nonprofits starting now with nonprofits that are already doing some things. Go help them, go join them. Maybe you can do a different program as part of that nonprofit, you know, or take something they're doing and tweak it to what you're trying to do. It's really going to be important that we focus on how we best can provide the services, because that's going to be the key. You know, nonprofits, you know, a lot of nonprofit leaders, me included, have type A personalities, so they want to go. But we've got to be realistic and read the room. You know, it's like playing poker. If you don't read the room, you're going to lose. So we've got to be smart, and the nonprofits need to be smart.
What do you see for the future of pool nonprofits? I think probably the best example, of course, is United Way. Will they grow, or will they have to diminish?
Well, you know, if they can't do their company campaigns, they probably will diminish. And the big thing is, you know, United Way now is different than United Way. They're doing more service provision and those types of things, as opposed to just funding other organizations who do it. They've been providing more services, which is a change in what United Way has traditionally been. So what's going to hold for United Way? You know, I can't predict that. I think George may have a better idea than I would.
Yeah, and again, but you know, the Find Your Partners, there's a really good real-world Baton Rouge example of that. Cancer Services of Greater Baton Rouge, which provided cancer support. In other words, if you needed a hospital bed, they would provide it for you. If you needed transportation, they would provide it. You know,
they provided me with some simple support.
They used to be a pretty large standalone nonprofit. And about, 5 years ago, they realized that they needed to partner with somebody that was in the same business, and they were taken under the wing of Mary Bird Perkins Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. So they don't have to be out there, as good as they were, on their own, wondering what tomorrow is going to bring. Yeah. They've got a partner that provides something of a security blanket for them.
They're not in competition with them.
Yes.
And they can come under the same umbrella, and Mary Bird wins, and Cancer Services wins, and Baton Rouge wins.
Well, yeah, and the patients that are served win. And God knows, from close experience, that could be any of us at any time.
Exactly.
Mike, before we let you go, let's remind everybody of your web address so that they can go find out more about you and sign up.
Sure. It's www.brfoodbank.org.
www.brfoodbank.org, and you can give on a monthly basis, you can give cash, and if you want to volunteer your time, they may need some help at their main facility. So go to www.brfoodbank.org. Do something, won't you? We appreciate it. Mike, thanks for being on with us.
Thank you both. Appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap it up in a minute on Exiles TV. You, sir.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Glad to have you with us on Exiles TV. We're just talking about cars in the break. Yeah. And the Ford Mustang, and by the way, I will admit it, I had a 2001 cherry red Mustang GT convertible that would pass anything on the road but the gas station, and I loved it.
I had a 72 cherry red. It wasn't a fastback 72. It was remember when they did a kind of a notchback?
Yeah.
But still, love that car.
But now,
well, Ford apparently is going to have many models of the Mustang beginning with the 2022 model year. They're going to have the traditional Mustang, which will be a muscle car. It'll have a next-gen look, in other words, a redesign. They're also going to do a coupe that is going to be an all-electric Ford Mustang, which just doesn't sound right. And this one, I think, is an absolute abomination. They're going to do a Mustang four-door crossover vehicle. A Mustang is not an SUV. A Mustang is not a four-door. A Mustang is not a family vehicle. Call it something else.
although back in the teenage years, I know a lot of families that were started in a Mustang, but that's a completely different story.
Completely different.
That's a completely different story.
I think that this is going to be another one of the many, many poor decisions in a long, long line of poor decisions made by Ford. I got 2 words for Ford. Mustang 2, remember that?
Oh.
How did that work out for you?
Oh.
How many model years did they make that? 4, 3?
I think it only lasted 3.
They had to abandon
years.
ship on that because it was
Well,
such a
it's kinda
terrible
like,
idea.
Don't go new Coke on me here.
Yep. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Don't go new Coke. Speaking of which, while we're talking about products, there is a billboard, and I don't know if it's some sort of a weird tease, but there's a billboard, and it's one of these electronic ones, so it changes, and it moves all over town, and you probably see it in Lafayette, and you probably see it in New Orleans, and in Jefferson Parish, and in Houma Thibodeau. It is a red Coca-Cola can, and it says, Coke, no sugar, as in coming soon. Now, don't they already have Coke Zero, which is a black label with red in the center?
And they also have Diet Coke that has no sugar.
Yeah, but let me tell you what, Diet Coke tastes like medicine to me. Coke Zero is a different taste, but are we really going to have a red can Coke that is zero sugar? Is this some sort of a promotional idea to get us all sucked in?
Promotional idea to get us sucked in.
Okay, what might it be?
I have no idea. When they say no sugar, what do they mean? Coke Zero has no sugar.
Right.
Diet Coke uses aspartame.
Right.
I think Coke Zero uses
malitol, which is basically like equal.
So is this other one stevia, which is the worst of the sugar substitutes out there.
Yuck.
Stevia's got a nasty aftertaste to it.
I don't think I can do stevia. But I mean, is there any call? I mean, if you want a Diet Coke, you can order a Diet Coke. If I want a Coke, I want a real Coke. Why would I have to go through the thought chain of, do I want Coke no sugar? If I want Coke no sugar, I can get a Coke Zero or a Diet Coke.
Well, frankly, I haven't been buying Coke since I told, they had seminars telling their employees to be less white. So, it's kind of a non-starter for me altogether. Plus, at my age, I don't really need to be drinking sugary carbonated beverages.
Well, I mean...
And for me, I'm not going to drink a Diet Coke or a Zero Coke or a Coke No, because I shouldn't be drinking carbonated beverages anyway.
I can't do the aftertaste. I have never met a 0-calorie carbonated drink that not only do I not want the second one, I don't want to finish the one I just started.
By the way, what the microphone might have caught you mentioning just as we were coming back, I just got a Car and Driver says the 2021 Mazda 6. I drive a 2014 Mazda 6, an amazing automobile in my opinion, and it's my second Mazda 6. 2021 will be the last Mazda 6. There will be no 2022. It is rumored that they will replace the Mazda 6 perhaps in 2023 with a rear-wheel drive platform, probably using an inline 6-cylinder engine.
Well, that'll be a little rocket ship.
Yep.
That'll be a little...
But what it will be is yet unknown, and also Mazda intends to come out with a luxury sedan, as well as what will replace the Mazda 6.
They're late to the party. That's a big market.
Car and Driver says the 6 nameplate is likely to return in some future model year.
Do you remember in the late 80s, they tried a luxury sedan right after Toyota came out with their Avalon?
They did, was it the 929?
The 929.
I almost bought one. It was a beautiful car.
It was, but they didn't sell. They just didn't sell.
I test drove a 929. I was it was only 3 model years old, and I was extremely impressed with it. But when it came down to it, I could get a deal on a brand new 6, which I did, and so I went that route.
Well, you know, and a lot of the foreign manufacturers are getting out of the luxury sedan. Somewhere in the same issue, you would probably find that Volkswagen is discontinuing their high-end sedan, the Passat.
Sorry, I had to suppress a sneeze.
But again, the Passat gets great marks from its consumers. And they said they just need to make room for more SUVs in their lineup.
See, I think this is a mistake when these manufacturers decide they're going to put all their bank in trucks and SUVs. There is still a healthy market out there for cars, for regular old cars.
But, you know, again, I can't speak for the foreign, but the American manufacturers, everybody's buying sedans is buying foreign. They're buying Mazda, they're buying Honda, they're buying Toyota, they're buying Subaru, they're buying Hyundai.
Well, true enough, Ford does not make a sedan anymore because nobody was buying the Taurus anymore.
And Chevy's going to, well, I mean, Chevy already tanked 2 of their sedan brands, you know, years ago. So we shall see what becomes of that. That might leave Buick as their only sedan brand very soon.
Well, hopefully I won't need new wheels anytime soon, so.
Well, I hope not.
One of my cars is paid for and the other's almost paid for, and I love the feeling of having.
Oh man, did you just say that out loud?
Yep, I love the feeling of having no car notes.
Be careful driving home. Be careful driving home. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks so much for joining us on Exiles TV. Replay at 10 o'clock tonight.
God bless. Take care.
Be good. Bye-bye.